Hey guys, Brixenta here bringing you another vlog. Today I'm going to go over a review for the Too Faced White Chocolate Bar Palette review. Enjoy. Okay guys, so I kind of don't have the palette anymore. I forgot to do the review before, and so now I don't have a palette. I'm sorry. But I will kind of just go over, I know it's not the same as swatching, so if you're like, whatever, forget you, it's okay if you click off. I understand. You can watch some of my other videos. They do have swatches and all of that good stuff. This one, I won't have any swatches. However, I wanted to do this review anyway just because it was such a bad palette. I love Too Faced, the brand, but this palette was a major fail. I have never had to return anything that I have bought from Sephora before, but this palette I ended up having to return because it was that bad. It was very powdery, which I wouldn't have minded. I mean, if it's a powdery shadow, whatever, I can deal with it as long as it doesn't A, go all over the place, and B, it blends out fine. So that's not that big of an issue. However, that is not what happened. And it's supposed to be a pastel palette, which I totally understand. I love, hold on, let me get it for you. Okay, so my favorite palette in the world is the Pastel Goth palette. These are very pastel colors, but when you swatch them, this is a finger swatch, so it doesn't do it justice, but when you swatch them, it actually swatches on to your skin. Can you even see that? Let me do some of the darker colors so you can actually tell. Okay, so you can probably see those. So I can actually see them on my skin when I do swatches. I can see them when I put them on my eyes, every single one of them. Because the orange clementine color is similar, it kind of just is just slightly different than my actual eye color, but that's okay. Because these this is a beautiful palette. It's a pastel palette and I love it. So the fact that it was the white chocolate bar was a pastel palette is not why I don't love it, because this is my favorite palette in the world. The fact that none of the colors except for there was a black color, which I'll try to insert a picture now. That black color probably showed up. I didn't try to play with it. There was a dark brown, which I'll try to insert that as well. That kind of showed up. I had to work really hard to get it to show up. The green showed up, which that one was actually pretty good. That was the only good color in the whole palette, and no, there was two. That color was the only good color, or one of two good colors in the entire palette, and it's very much like this one right here. It pretty much looks the exact same as this color. I'll swatch it for you. I do have this one to swatch for you. I'll try to insert a picture of the color on the palette as well. So it pretty much looks like this. It's a great color. I love it. However, I have it in this palette and I also have it in a NYX palette, and I can get the NYX palette for less than half the price of the white chocolate bar palette. Okay? So if you want that color, just go get the NYX palette. It's a multi-finish NYX, it's the NYX electric palette for the multi-finish palette. Get that one. It's a great palette. All the colors blend nicely. There's bad reviews on it, but I don't know why, because I thought it was an amazing palette. So, back to the white chocolate bar palette. The other color is a white color, which I'll insert a picture hopefully right now. But that white color shows up kind of, and it's pretty. But that would have been the only reason to keep the palette, and I'm like, I can't justify keeping a palette for one color that's just okay. It's not like I'm really in love with it, and even if I was, I can't justify keeping an entire $49 palette for one color. Like, it was a fail. Every time I tried to work with it, even when I did swatches on my hand, they all looked like my skin color, except for those couple of shades that I talked about. They all looked like my skin color or just a step above. When I tried to blend it in, I worked very, very hard to get it to show up to anything. When I did use the darker colors, or I actually tried to use the palette to create a whole look one day, and it took me at least twice as long to do my eye makeup than it usually does, because I had to work so hard to get any color payoff whatsoever, and even then it was still really, really light color payoff. And then on top of that, it started to fade within just a couple of hours. By the end of the day, it was half gone. By the end of my work day, not even the end of the day. And then I think within like a couple of hours, I think I ended up taking a nap that day because I was exhausted. By the time I was done, it was completely gone. There was nothing left whatsoever. And the thing is, I have had other Too Faced palettes that don't do that, that are not powdery, that last all day. Anytime I do my eye makeup, whether it's a NYX palette, whether it's a Kat Von D palette, whether it's a Too Faced palette, whatever brand I'm using that day, it lasts from the time I get up at 5:30 in the morning and do my makeup until the time I take it off at 10, 11 o'clock at night. And it stays pretty much looking the same as when I got up in the morning, even if I take a nap, because I use really good primers, I use really good setting sprays, all of these things. And I feel like I have a pretty decent amount of makeup knowledge, so it's not like I'm a beginner who has no idea what they're doing and is trying to put this thing on my lid and it's not doing anything. I've been wearing makeup for a while now, and I've never had this issue with any of my other palettes, not even my low-end palettes. I will say that some of the lower end stuff that I've tried doesn't do as well, so I don't normally use it. Anyway, so this palette just looked like my skin tone for almost all of the colors, except for the green color and that white color. And there was a dark brown that I could get to show up, but I had to work hard at it. The black probably would have showed up as well. So if you have skin color that's my tone or darker, it won't show up on you. It's going to be a major fail. Because there were good reviews, but I think you have to be either porcelain or ivory skin toned. I'm light, or sometimes light to medium, depending on what time of year and just the company and all that stuff. So if you're ivory or porcelain and you like really, really natural looks, this might be a palette for you. So just kind of disregard what I'm saying and try to go for a review who's that skin toned and likes those colors. I'm even okay with like natural looking colors, but this palette was just such a fail. I feel like Too Faced just, first of all, they don't cater to very many skin tones, which is so sad because their makeup usually is really good. But second of all, it's just, I feel like they just tried to release too many palettes all at the same time, and this one just wasn't the same quality as any of the other Too Faced palettes that I've used, because I really do like the brand. I have the Sweet Peach palette, and then I have a couple of the other smaller palettes, the Peanut Butter and Honey, the Peanut Butter and Jelly. I feel like I've probably used other stuff too, and I think they're very good. I've used their chocolate bronzer, their chocolate Soleil bronzer, I like that. Love their mascara, etc., etc. But this particular palette just missed the mark on all levels for me. I did not like it. It was the first and so far only thing that I have ever had to return to Sephora. It kind of broke my heart. However, I did get 2 Huda Beauty palettes in exchange, and I absolutely love them. I will be doing a review on those as well. So look forward to that. But I wanted to let you know my thoughts and opinions on it. Like I said, I'm not trying to be hard on the company. I just wanted to give you my opinion on this palette in case you're like, should I get this one? Should I not? It looks like it has some interesting colors. This lilac color's cool. I couldn't get the lilac color to show up pretty much at all, and I got it when I did the full eye look, and I even used setting spray and all these different things. There was nothing I could do to get it to work. So that lilac shade, I like barely got it to show up, and then within an hour or two it looked like it was completely gone. So that was super disappointing, which I'll try to insert a picture of that as well somewhere along the line. Yeah, so I'm sorry I don't have the palette to show you. I kind of forgot to do this video before I returned it. Ugh. Fail on my part too. So fail all over the place. Me. But anyway, so I hope if you're contemplating whether or not this is a palette for you, maybe you do have really light skin, really fair skin, and you're like, oh no, this actually sounds like it could be good. Go for it, because like I said, it's a good brand. But otherwise, I would say pass. Alright, I hope you found this helpful, and if you would like more of my content, you can go to my website, www.brixenta.com. I will put it right here, www.brixenta.com. I love you guys so much, and as always, dream big.